Summary of Seller's Real Property Disclosure Form. In accordance with Nevada law, a seller of residential real property must disclose any and all known conditions and aspects of the property which materially affect the value or use of residential property in an adverse manner. Commonly referred to as the SRPD, the purpose of the form is to make the buyer aware of the overall condition of the property before it is transferred. This disclosure is not a guarantee, nor does it take the place of an inspection. In some cases, a seller has never lived in the property and may have no knowledge of the condition of the property. Thus, the buyer is advised to obtain an independent inspection performed by a properly licensed home inspector. The seller must complete the SRPD form detailing the condition of the property, known defects, and any other aspects of the property which may affect its use or value. A real estate licensee, unless they are the seller of the property, may not complete this form. The buyer may only sign the form after full and proper completion by the seller. A buyer may rescind the contract without penalty if they do not receive a fully and properly completed SRPD form. If a buyer closes his transaction without a completed form, or if a known defect is not disclosed to the buyer may be entitled to triple damages unless the buyer waives their rights under NRS 113.150, paragraph 6. The SRPD is divided into 5 main sections. The first section identifies the property, its occupancy, and the type of seller. It then explains the purpose of the form and provides instructions to the seller. The second section is broken into 2 parts, systems and appliances, and property conditions, improvements, and additional information. This is the central part of the SRPD. The form must be fully and properly completed. If the seller has no knowledge, no is an appropriate answer to the "Are you aware?" questions. Each question must be answered with a mark in the corresponding yes, no, or in some cases, NA box. The third section is provided for the seller to explain any yes answers. In the fourth section, Chapter 113 of the Nevada Revised Statutes is provided for the parties' convenience. The seller is obligated to deliver the document to the buyer within 5 days of having an effective contract to purchase. If they do not do so in time, but delivers it late, the buyer's right to cancel the contract remains alive until such time as the buyer receives the document and has ample opportunity to review it and respond. Nevada law requires the document to be delivered not later than 10 days prior to the close of escrow, and any new defects must be reported to the buyer before close of escrow after initial inspection. However, proper procedure and the contract says the SRPD should be delivered to the buyer within 5 days. If the seller fails to deliver the SRPD at any time, then the buyer's right to cancel remains alive through the moment of closing. Furthermore, after the buyer takes ownership of the property, should they discover any defects and have a way of proving that the seller knew about them or realized, perceived, or had knowledge of the defect and failed to disclose them, the buyer may sue the seller and is entitled under Nevada law to recover an amount equal to 3 times the cost of repairs. The fifth section contains signature blocks for the seller and buyer. The seller's signature block contains a statement that the information provided is true and correct to the best of seller's knowledge, and a reminder that newly discovered defects and known defects that become worse must be disclosed. The buyer's signature block acknowledges receipt of the SRPD, including a copy of NRS Chapter 113.100 through 150, and advises the buyer to obtain professional advice and inspections of the property to more fully determine its condition. The information provided above is not legal or tax advice. You should consult with a professional of your choice regarding any questions or concerns before its execution.